Last week, live streamer iShowSpeed got into a drama with a popular yet controversial content creator from the Dominican Republic after Speed had a scheduled stream to visit the country and broke his concurrent viewer record, cracking nearly 2 million viewers. However, people were quickly skeptical when Speed's tour guide was revealed to be content creator Alofoke, who has for a while now had viewbotting allegations levied against him. Later on, Speed went live on a separate stream and confirmed that the stream in the Dominican Republic was botted by someone, but he didn't explicitly say who. And in response, Alofoke went to an iShowSpeed mural that was made and destroyed it, along with going live saying that he is a bigger streamer and that Speed has an ego problem, and even took to Twitter to attack Speed's view numbers. But there's lots to get into, so let's just jump in. Welcome to the internet versus iShowSpeed. It starts when Why Whatever So posts on the livestream fail subreddit this clip with the caption, iShowSpeed hits 1 million concurrent viewers on YouTube and rising.
1 million! 1 million! 1 million in the chat! Let's go! 1 million viewers in the chat! Let's go! Wow!
And then there's also this other clip from when he hit more viewers, and here he is with Alofoke celebrating.
Oh my. What the hell? Vamos, let's go, man.
Then OP follows up saying, old 1 million record in Indonesia. He broke his past record of 1,046,000 viewers. At the time of typing this, he has 1.8 million concurrent viewers and 138,000 likes. It seems to be tampered with and viewbotted. Definitely not Speed's doing, in my opinion. And Flying a Broom replies, really weird. Past his streams, he's had around 100k at most. Then suddenly he gets over 1 million in like the first 45 minutes of his streams. And Movie Yosin says 100%. A sudden 10x of viewers is very unlikely. And LFL Coda says depends on country. He's done it before in Indonesia. And Russian Profta says yeah, they get excited that he is in their country so they tell their friends to watch. Then it shows up in more people's recommended tab in the country. He's really popular so they all click it to see a celebrity show off their country. And Goldfish Muncher says what the fuck bro, don't ruin my conspiracy like that. We're supposed to hate and distrust everything here. And King Pussy says, I mean it's not hate if he is not the one botting himself. Bigger conspiracy is if the Dominican Republic government botted his stream to market their country. Clip to Season then also posts this screenshot from Speed's stream with the caption, iShowSpeed just broke his own record with 1.9 million live viewers during his stream in the Dominican Republic. Attaching this screenshot of the stream, IRL stream in Dominican Republic with 1.9 million watching. And Luca replies, I'm the biggest Speed fan, but this is clearly viewbotting. He can obviously reach this number one day, but this is not it. And of all the cool streams, you're telling me 1.8 million people are just watching him drive for hours now? Also, the sub count confirms it. Squiddy says, how the fuck is this possible? In Indonesia, it's very makes sense because their internet users are that much. Also, he stream after school/office hour, but this one. Then Scuba Ryan tweets out this clip with the caption, iShowSpeed reveals that he spoke with YouTube and found out that someone viewbotted his Dominican Republic stream, meaning he never actually had 1 million concurrent viewers. His real peak was around 300k, so Indonesia still holds his viewership record.
Oh yeah, Chop. Dior? Chat, about that stream, we never broke our record. It was a great stream, but we only peaked at around like 300k. I talked to the YouTube reps. Somebody bought that stream. So Indonesia still holds the record. Indonesia is still the savior of that record, chat.
And Prototype replies, it's not even Speed's fault. It was that goofball tour guide ordering bots live. DJ Omega MVP says, so wait a minute. Speed has 53.7 million subscribers on YouTube and the last underwater stream only got like 50k viewers. I think his subscribers are bots as well. Nero Crack quote tweets Ryan by saying, history is very good. Both countries managed to stream IRL iShowSpeed different countries, Indonesia and Dominican Republic. But then attaches these two screenshots which are relevant showing the IRL stream in Indonesia and on YouTube YouTube, it has 29 million views when this one peaked at 1 million, and the IRL stream in Dominican Republic has 6 million views when peaking at nearly 2 million. Dexerto also tweets out that streamer iShowSpeed admits his 1.92 million viewer stream was viewbotted and actually peaked at 300k concurrent watchers. And Mika Mika Whatever says, "Why did you make it sound like Speed botted his own stream? Using the word admits instead of claims or even just says." HBS says most streamers would have just taken the fake record and stayed quiet. Dexerto using admits is wild when he's just being transparent. Cachorro quote tweets Dexerto and says, "Alofoke got himself in the crosshairs of the American YouTube moderators just for trying to force clips with iShowSpeed. If YouTube finds out he's using bots, they'll ban him for life and tighten up the anti-bot system. The Icarus of the bot streamers." Movistar Esports also posts the same clip of Speed, and Spreen quote tweets it by saying, "Imagine bootying another streamer to make yourself look spicy and want to feel superior to him. If you want to live in a bubble with your inflated numbers, don't mess with others." And then Alofoke quote tweets Spreen, this is his account here, saying, "Your garbage content, sitting in a chair like a vegetable, wouldn't hook my audience. You all are garbage." And Spreen replies, 1 million viewers, 500 likes. Torino Viral tweets out, "Alofoke puts on a bold face and speaks out about Speed's statements, claiming that in his stream yesterday they threw bots at him." And then there's this clip here of him speaking, but it's not captioned. However, Grok translated this post from Spanish, so we'll just read this. This is allegedly what he's saying in the clip. "For me, there were never 300,000 viewers. For me, it's an ego thing on his part. He let himself get pressured by all the streamers from over there. There are the views on YouTube, and he also gained 100k subscribers. There are plenty of technical explanations that back up that there was a huge audience yesterday. They sent me tons of videos of people who didn't even know him. The capital was at a standstill. They're trying to downplay the Dominican Republic." And Eustace replies, "Alofoke is the best definition of the low level of education that exists in Latin America. He is an ignorant being whose personality is solely rooted in money. That's why he brought in bots, because he wanted to break a record that he knew he couldn't achieve any other way." Fernando says, "Alofoke needs psychological help. It's impossible for there to exist someone so narcissistic, liar, egocentric, inferiority, baseness, stupidity. The funniest thing is that all Dominicans believe his little story. That's why that country never advances. Culture of stupid people." Then Victor Bays posts this clip of Alofoke with the caption, "Dominican streamer Alofoke responds to iShowSpeed saying their record-breaking stream in DR was botted. Alofoke denies that it was and says he's bigger than Speed, and he says he has the same YouTube reps. He says Speed's team organized everything, but that he paid for stuff for Speed, like the helicopter. He says even though Speed didn't blame him or name him, the internet currently is." Alofoke also revealed he turned down $500,000 a week from Kick to air his current reality TV show, because he's loyal to YouTube, and that made 4 million in the past 15 days. And this clip here is 6 minutes long, but we chopped it down to just certain parts, and it is captioned, although they are not speaking English.
Fui yo que lo inventé. Todo lo que ellos hacen fui yo que lo inventé. Speed cayó en algo muy estúpido hoy.
¿Qué fue la pilita?
No, fue en algo muy estúpido. Pues entonces él me está demostrando ahora mismo que yo soy más grande que él. Entonces yo soy más grande que Speed. Yo soy más grande que Speed, entonces. Yo soy más grande que Speed.
Mucha bandera de redes, vamos.
No, manden superchat y regalo. Eso es fácil. Quiero mucho superchat y regalo. Me voy por aquí. Me voy por aquí. Pues entonces yo soy más grande que él.
Un DJ activo.
Yo soy más grande que él, entonces, loco.
Estoy leyendo todo el título.
Yo soy más grande que él.
El título bandera.
Güey, no están soportando que República Dominicana está dominando, loco, el streaming. Pues entonces yo soy más grande, yo soy el streamer más grande del mundo, loco, ahora mismo. Mírenlo ahí atrás. Yo soy el streamer más grande del planeta. Lo que soy como muy humilde, loco. Tengo que ser más arrogante, loco. Eso fue un error de él. No fue 300K, su pico. Porque el mismo contacto que él tiene en YouTube lo tengo yo. El récord está en República Dominicana, gente. Llévense de mí. Ahora, si él quiere esa retórica, que le dé para allá. Estoy viendo un video que está súper viral de Speed, donde habla de bots aquí en República Dominicana. No dijo nombre, pero se ha encargado muchísimas páginas.
¿Qué bots, primeramente? Bots, para yo entender.
Bots, esos son espectadores ficticios.
No son reales.
Ajá, que no son reales.
Okay.
Números inflados, ¿no?
Sí.
Él no dijo nombre, pero bueno, yo era el host ayer aquí con él y básicamente todo está apuntando hacia mí. Yo no tengo problema con eso. Yo no, como es su canal y le hace sus investigaciones, yo sí tengo los números que yo creo que se manejaron ayer. Y hay cientos de videos ahí miles de videos ahí de gente que se conectó el día de ayer porque yo estaba con él. Mi inglés malísimo. Hay muchas cosas que yo quería decirle a él que no se le dijeron de una forma apropiada. No estoy justificando nada. El tiempo pondrá todo en su lugar. Pero lo que sí me llama poderosamente la atención es una sola cosa. Yo siempre gano, gente. Yo siempre estoy ganando. Y cuando la gente gana, cuando uno gana todo el tiempo, cuando uno siempre está top, cuando uno siempre sale a camino, ¿verdad? Siempre trae un grupo grande de gente que te adversa. Y eso yo lo manejo tranquilo, sin presión, lo manejo suave, respeto todas las opiniones. Pero lo que me llama poderosamente la atención es la forma como que él no dice nombre ni nada por el estilo, pero apuntan a mí.
Unyielding Aegis replies, Alofoke is low-key ruining the vibes for Dominican Republic. iShowSpeed's stream was really good, and this is causing controversy. And Planet Hood says, he didn't say he was bigger than Speed. He was questioning whether he might be bigger than Speed because he can pull 1 million plus viewers on his live streams, while it's difficult for Speed to put up those numbers while live. And Random Man says, are you slow? Speed got 47.5 million on Instagram and 53 million on YouTube. Only hit 1 million viewers once in Indonesia with 270 million people living it. Stop suck to Alofoke, he's a sociopath. And Batista says, because the reality is that Speed's live streams are dog shit. Only a brain-rotted kid would watch whatever he's doing day to day. Logical Ad then posts this clip on the livestream fail subreddit with the caption, iShowSpeed's mural in the Dominican Republic has been covered up in paint, after he said YouTube confirmed that his record-breaking livestream with 1.9 million viewers got botted.
Dale, bórrelo. Quiero mi cara ahí yo, la mía.
And Lameboy Genie replies, I don't get the connection between getting botted and the painting getting covered. And Trinidad says, the Dominican Republic places a huge emphasis on viewership integrity. And Monkey Cheese says, true, it's what they are known for. And Goonalip says, it's in their constitution. It's one of their founding principles. Static says, I imagine if there's people in Dominican Republic that like Speed enough to paint a mural of the dude, there's also people that would take the claim of botting as an insult to them/their country. It's still kind of a strange thing to do, lol. But if it makes them feel better, I guess. And Sarah Twist says, the mural was painted by Speed's own team. And Static says, oh, I had no idea, to be honest. I only follow Speed through posts like this. The Patriotic Clubhouse says, in the Dominican Republic, we've had massive issues with botting influencing elections, arguably resulting in deaths, and mass economic hardship. Every time it was proven, leaders would acknowledge it but say they didn't know, generally just plead ignorance and imply some crazy supporter did this or it's a false flag, etc. So people here react extremely badly to the use of bots to push narratives. It also hurts a little too. We thought over 1 million people concurrent were watching us, a country that is largely ignored by the world. So we celebrated Speed massively. It turns out that was not true. So a lot of people may feel embarrassed or that they were tricked, even though I don't think Speed was aware or in any way responsible for the botting. People here will be hurt and upset. And Movie Yosen says, then why do they go after Speed and not Alofoke, who did the botting and is known for botting for years? And Nax replies, because Santiago Matias Alofoke is a cult personality in the DR, and to a lot of people he is a role model who can do no wrong. He will forever deny it and most will believe and support him. And Movie Yosen says, how can they choose such an idiot as a role model? And Agwe says, not being sarcastic, but it's because he has money and money equals power. It's a cultural thing. Victor Bays also tweets out the clip of the mural getting destroyed with the caption, they have covered iShowSpeed's mural in the Dominican Republic after he said 1.9 million record-breaking stream there was botted with fake views. Alofoke was there to witness it. And then he attaches these pictures showing the before and after of the mural. Omaki replies, there is reason why they are called the dumbest people in the Caribbean. MKU says, oh no, they destroyed his mural on a random wall in some random ghetto downtown. Poor Speed. How could he ever recover from this? He's done for sure. Nubian Thinker says, how stupid can these people be? It was YouTube that informed Speed about the bots. He didn't made it up, he just commented on the information YouTube provided. And Danny replies, the guy recording is Alofoke and he paid those poor people $2,000 to splash the wall. Speed and Alofoke have the same YouTube contact. Speed is no god. He can lie too. Speed ego is hurt because he thought the high streaming numbers was because of himself. When he was writing in DR next to Alofoke, he didn't know Alofoke was a streamer too. The high numbers were because of Alofoke asking his people to go into Speed's stream. Speed made up the claim that it was bots after learning people were giving the credits to Alofoke. And Mad says, all those words just to sound very stupid. Log off the internet and stop embarrassing yourself in your country. H27 says, you think you know better than YouTube? The biggest YouTube streamer in the world, who personally knows the YouTube CEO. Why would he lie? Dumbass Dominican And Danny says, Alofoke was literally recognized as example and praised just 3 months ago by YouTube CEO Neil Mohan in his annual letter, 2026. Alofoke have been accused of using bots by other streamers for the past 2 years with no evidence, yet he has closed contact and partnerships with YouTube. YouTube even had personalized stickers for the first time in a chat exclusively for Alofoke, and this happened in his 3rd reality show. His first stream reality happened less than a year ago. And then there is this attached. We have official blog from the CEO, what's coming to YouTube in 2026. And then there is this part here that says, we know these are important revenue streams, especially outside the US, for creators like Santiago Matias, who uses super chats as a way for fans to influence the outcome of his hit reality series, specifically talking about fan funding. Then this other part here where it says YouTube's global CEO, Neil Mohan, highlighted the impact of the Dominican entrepreneur and influencer Alofoke and his annual letter titled From the CEO, What's Coming to YouTube in 2026, and then basically just repeating what we just read. This post here with 2,000 likes is then Alofoke's own post on Twitter of the mural with just the Dominican flag and the mural being destroyed. And D&D in person replies, what a rat this idiot Alofoke is. How badly he's screwing over an entire country because of his damn ego. You were just a lame with money. As Merlin says, stop using the Dominican flag to cover up your dirty deeds, you damn lunatic. And Domitri says, you know what stings the most? That Alofoke puts up the Dominican flag as if this were a discrimination issue against us. Bro, they're dragging us internationally because of you. Your fault, not Speed's. What a shame. Justice says, whoever gets offended is because that's where it hurts. Speed never said it was Alofoke, but Alofoke is super salty. Alofoke acting like a kid. Rui tweets out these screenshots of different murals that Speed has in other countries with the caption, Speed has murals almost everywhere in the world. The most loved and respected streamer. And Yolki replies, paid by production. And Rui says, most of them are artists and content creator. They posted it in their socials. Don't compare my go to Alofoke paid by bots. And this tweet here with 300 likes is Alofoke quote tweeting it saying, production sends that to be painted. And Cristo Ray, they knew him as El Sultan. And Mondonga replies, friend, how is it that you have millions of views on YouTube, but here you barely hit 100 likes? And on TikTok, not even 10k people watch your live streams. And Fishing Carp says, bots aren't enough for all the social media networks. Bogata tweets out this clip from Asmongold's stream with the caption, Alofoke's biggest mistake was believing that stuffing bots into Speed wouldn't have consequences. And now he's being exposed by streamers from all over the planet.
And so let's look over here 10 days ago. So your videos, so let me get this straight. You're releasing produced videos that are getting 1/5 of the live viewers that you get? That doesn't even make sense. So you're really, I mean, these are produced videos that you've made yourself. And then you look at the live, look at this here, look at his shorts. 50k views, 68k views, 33. So this guy's getting 1 million live viewers and he's getting 33k views on a short? Are you kidding me? What the are we talking about? Yeah, this is insane. It's hella fake. It's crazy, crazy fake. This guy's entire presence is fake. Holy oh my God. And then look at his lives. All of his lives are super popular. Wow, what a surprise. Oh man. 1.6, 1.4 million. So expose him. I know nobody understands what he's saying. Well, yeah, because he's speaking Spanish, but that's not the point. So you've got all these people. Look at this. Everybody here thinks that they're part of something that's a really big deal, and they're all just getting view-botted.
And Eric says, how great that Alofoke's strategy is working. It's getting all the streaming platforms talking about him. Validate tweets out this clip with the caption, Akademiks claims Alofoke is actually bigger than iShowSpeed, Kai Cenat, and Aiden Ross combined. He argues that if YouTube can notify Speed that his stream was botted, then they can publicly expose Alofoke for botting his streams if that is truly the case.
I said right now his low number is 500,000. That's his low number. Kai and Speed need to do some crazy shit just to get 500,000. Let's be honest, right? And if you put their average numbers together, it's still not 500,000. So this guy right now is really bigger than Kai and Speed together. Actually add Aiden in the mix. So there's a guy in the Dominican Republic. His name is Santiago Matias. I'm actually making a case for him to say he's bigger than Kai, Speed, and Aiden Ross all together. Not him as a person, but his brand. Again, remember, I'm going to keep throwing it up there. I know y'all going to say, nobody's bigger than Kai. Look, it jumped to 600,000. Look, just like that. 600,000. It was at 507. And within 5 minutes of us talking, it's at 6. Look, it's at 611. With all due respect, Kai Cenat cannot do that. With all due respect, Speed cannot do that. And with all due respect, Aiden Ross can't do that. If YouTube could tell Speed that his stream was botted, YouTube could tell the world if this thing is botted. And this has been going on for months. Not a day, months. Actually, months. A year.
And Janet quote tweets the post by saying, "They just can't understand that for millions of Dominicans, especially the ones who can't afford cable or subscriptions like Netflix, Alofoke is the only source of entertainment because it's free to watch." Javier also posted this clip compilation of Alofoke on Speed's stream, reacting to the various viewer counts with the caption, "But how the hell did Alofoke slip bots to Speed, the world's most famous streamer, to make him look like he'd broken the viewership record in the Dominican Republic just by linking up with him? Speed and his team confirmed they got hit with bots and they're pissed off. What a disgrace that Alofoke is."
1 million in a check. Broke my own record.
Congratulations, man. Congratulations.
I broke my record?
Congratulations. For the respect.
What the hell?
For the respect. Vamos a romper récord. 1.5, vamos. 1.5.
Oh my.
Then Speed's cameraman slips and starts making posts. He tweets out, his ego hurt because he was caught. Speed wouldn't go on live to lie. He never mentioned any names. He was transparent with his community because his community got played with. Then he attaches this image of the concurrent viewers in the peak while live, showing 197.9k here. And Crave says, "Wait, I thought Speed said it peaked at 300k. And Snowy replies, "He was being generous until that guy spoke up." Slips also makes this tweet with the caption, "At 1.8 million CCV over 5 hours, the stream should have ended at somewhere from 15 to 20 million unique. It ended at 6.7 million. Average watch duration was 50 minutes, Lamau. 83% desktop, Lamafau. Normally 6 to 8 minutes, and desktop is always 15 to 20%. Then Alofoke also posts his own stats on his page with the caption, "Show the full panel, dominate the power of streaming. He was next to the Sultan. His team must have told him who I am, wherever there is a Dominican." Then he attaches this screenshot here, and what this is showing at the top is the time of day that the viewers are most active on YouTube, along with what type of device they use to watch here in the middle. So 68% is watching on TV for Alofoke, and then 27% on cell phone, 2% on tablet, and 1% on computer. And then the age of the viewers is mostly 25 to 34 at 44%. And then here, this is his real-time views in the last 48 hours on this screenshot. This is the subscribers he's gotten in what appears to be the last 28 days. And this is just the straight views in the last 28 days. And Alberto replies, "Here is the complete panel, Sultan of the bots," showing this image here that the views were 1.1 million and the concurrent live viewers, again, not getting over 200,000. And Genesis replies, "But according to Speed, the peak was 300k, which they manipulated now? Haha, no way they can't find how to lie more." And I'm Silver says, 200k on YouTube and 100k on Twitch. What does that mean with that? And Genesis says, "Seriously? He clearly said he spoke to a YouTube rep and they told him the live of peak never went over 300k, which was the max, hahaha. Now you throw in that nebula." And Santiago then also follows up with another post showing what he has made in the last 28 days, totaling up to 3 million USD. And Sharawi replies, "If you're so viral on the internet, why don't your tweets reach anyone? I have the answer. You're irrelevant and everything about you is trash. So start paying for bots on this platform, you dumbass." Slips and then replies to Alofoke's tweet by saying, 83% desktop and an average view duration of a sleeping dog. Bro, I have been live streaming on a global scale for 5 years now, alongside iShowSpeed, analyzing stats like a crackhead whose life depends on it. You cannot fool somebody like me, as this has been and will continue to be my life. You can fool the internet communities, but now you're playing with our community and our integrity, which is where I draw the line entirely. You got defensive when nobody even said your name, and then went and destroyed murals painted by talented artists in retaliation. The respect bar has dropped to below 0. Now please save yourself from farther embarrassment. Much love, sir." Showing this screenshot here, again, that 82% were on computer, only 10% were on phone, and 6% were on TV. If you compare that to Alofoke's stats, it said over 60% watch on TV. So if it's the same viewer base, then all of a sudden they're watching on computer now. And then he also attaches this screenshot showing the average view duration being 48 minutes, 51 seconds, and the views being a 6.1 million. And the Gold replies, "You and your 5 years haven't been able to do this numbers because all the drugs y'all be shooting up while stream. And now you gotta save your job. The numbers you presented have always worked on your favor until some random 40-year-old man in a third world country crushed it. Now what? And Slips replies with this image of the IRL stream in Indonesia showing 1 million peak concurrents, and instead of 6.1 million views like we saw for the Dominican stream, it's 14.5 million views for Indonesia. They also went to Jamaica, and Slips post about it saying good stream, showing different stats. The average view duration 13 minutes, 2 million views, 194,000 peak concurrents. And Alofoke quote tweets it again here, has 800 likes, and he says, bad numbers for 50 millions of subs. And Jack replies, man, shut your ass up. You got caught and now you mad. Speed been to 97 countries, with countless tour guides and hosts all over the globe, and somehow you the only one who made yourself look goofy on the world stage. And Alofoke also quote tweets it a second time, saying the view duration being 13 minutes. He says 13 minutes on hold, bad. And this tweet has 500 likes. Alofoke tweets out this clip of Alofoke's chat with the caption, Alofoke went offline more than 30 minutes ago and the bot's chat keeps writing. And there's just a bunch of users continually typing when the chat is offline. And Alofoke just quote tweets it with a laughing emoji. Shout out to our tier 3 members, internet representatives Kiko, Salsad, Coldest Bandito, Captain Crash Out, Dearboy, Noobster, and Mr. X. Thank you guys so much for the support, and I'll see you on the next episode.